Yo, what's up? question. So how you guys doing? Ruby, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Checking sound. Please give me a comment if you can hear me. Hope everybody's well. Yeah. So how are we doing here? Yeah, small group. Well, people will build up. Looking for the comments. Can you hear me? Good morning. I want to learn about game development. Can I achieve that? So, let me turn this down. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. Thanks for joining the stream. Yes. So, all right, cool. So everybody can hear me. How's the sound? Let me know. I'm doing some audio processing on this. So I want to make sure it sounds pretty good for you guys. There we go. People are taunting me with the Ruby. So hope everybody is well. Yeah, it's a little overexposed. I don't know. A little overexposed, I suppose. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. A little bit better. All right. Thanks for joining the stream. Hope everybody is well. Yeah, if you can leave a thumbs, if you don't mind, so that the YouTube algorithm sends out its secret message to everybody. And yeah, we'll get on with the conversation. So sound is sound. Sounds good. Sounds great. Okay, good. Loud and clear. Okay, thanks, guys. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so we'll go to the top. So thanks for joining the stream. If you're new here, my name is Steph. Some people call me Uncle Steph. And I call myself the world's oldest developer. It's probably the case. So I've been writing code since '94. So I come on here to share my experience with you guys going back those decades. And not just coding experience, also business experience, life experience, whatever you want to hear, whatever questions you have. I've been a lifelong entrepreneur, code entrepreneur. And so that's my perspective that I bring here. So there you go. Yeah, so let's start off. So what we typically do on this channel, introduce yourself, say Bruce Sales from wherever you happen to be, whatever city or state or country you happen to be. I'm Bruce Sales from Chicago, or I'm Bruce Sales from Florida, wherever you happen to be. Mohammed from, I don't know, maybe you're from Egypt, I don't know, or maybe you're from Chicago too. So let me know. It's always interesting to know where everybody is from. So, cool. What's up? What's up, Bruce? Hope everything is good. Do you have idea about microverse, please? No, I'm not familiar with that. Can I ask about Ruby? You can ask that thing. What did Google want you? Why did Google want you? Are you making reference to that video where I say in the video, where the title was something to the effect, why I wouldn't want to work for Google? I never said that I got a job offer from Google. I never did. But I can think of 10,000 reasons why Google would want me. And none of them are good. Can I get clients on Upwork just with HTML, CSS? Be more difficult with HTML and CSS. If you freelance, one of the keys to freelancing, of course, is PHP. PHP is key, because why? So many small companies use PHP-based products like WordPress and Drupal. So yeah, add a little to your Gabriel, add to your HTML and CSS, add to it a smidge or a pinch of JavaScript and a scoop of PHP, and you'll be good. Well, your chance of landing jobs will increase quite a bit. What do you think about XBase++? Don't know about it. I have to look into it. Hi, Steph. I got a list of 50 Ruby questions. Oh, wait. I just read the title. Damn. Flash. You can ask me about Flash too, if you like. How hard is it to get a FANG interview? Not pass the interview, but just get it. Do you have to go to a prestigious university? No, you don't, but you have to have skills. You have to have demonstrable skills. If you go to a prestigious university, I guess it would help, but they're more or less looking for skills. I've talked about it before, where Google has said and Apple has said that they found that the productivity of their employees had nothing to do with their level of education. Although I'm sure there are barriers to entry due to the HR departments, you know? Okay, I got that one. What kind of programming is useful in IT? I'm probably going to be doing scripting. I would learn JavaScript and Python. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Uncle Steph. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Just finished watching last stream and was about to go to bed. Late here and hungry. Hey. It's Sven. Are you talking? Are you takings? I don't know what that is. Why is there something rather than nothing? Okay. WebAssembly for real-time web apps. Bailey, that's very specialized, right? If you're going to do real-time, I'd probably lean towards Node. Probably. Although I heard PHP can do a pretty good job too. But yeah, I would lean towards Node for real-time. Node and, yeah, of course, two different, WebAssembly, yeah, two different things. But yeah, I don't know much about WebAssembly. I guess it would help because it's much more efficient. Yeah, I would have to look at the project and see whether or not it would make sense for me. So, for example, if I would look at how much more performant WebAssembly is in actual use as opposed to theoretical. Because sometimes you can look at specs and you can see, oh yeah, WebAssembly or whatever, X language is 5 times faster than Y language. But that speed difference is not really noticeable by the end user. This can happen. So you have to look into those things. I would have to look at the project, look at the actual speed advantages, because when you get into something like WebAssembly, which is niche, it could be expensive to maintain it and problematic just because of a lack of popularity, unless it becomes popular. But those are some of the questions I look at. Interview for a job, but it's reminded me of how much I hate being employed. I'm doing your course. How long before I can begin as freelancer and quit the new job I don't even have yet? Well, it depends on how much work you do. Like in the WebStack course, you're looking at about 200 hours of work. Then you got to build your portfolio site, and then you can start hitting the bricks and looking at doing some freelance gigs for people. Yeah. How are we doing here? Greetings, Mohammed Baki. Welcome to the stream. I have the best bokeh game in town. Look how blurry that hand is. That's bokeh. I don't even need an iPhone to do that. How do I get a Ruby job? Now, when you hit 169 years, that's it. You stop aging. That's the peak. So, Greetings, Steph. At least I know your mic is working. I think I just heard you drink something and you just said something also. Good thing I don't curse. Hi, Steph. How likely would it be for an Italian junior developer in their late 40s with good English language skills to get a remote job for a Canadian or US business? I'd say it's pretty likely. You just have to have a strong, well, you got strong English skills, is good, but you have to have strong coding skills, have a good portfolio. You have to show these people that you know what you're doing. Hey, Steph, what's your favorite Kaiser Chiefs song? Mine is Ruby. What about Ruby, Ruby, Ruby? Did I do my Ruby, Ruby, Ruby? I did it. I think I did. Good morning. I want to learn about game development and create game. How can I achieve that? Yeah, you can do with a lot of languages. I would stay away from the heavier languages like C++, Java, and C# to do that. Well, maybe C# with... they have a platform. It just slips my mind. Something me. Anyway, they have a platform. C# has a Unity platform. There we go. You can code against that, and there's a lot of information out there. But if you want to do a simple game, you could do it in Python. You know. Hello, Theos. Code long and prosper. Oh, by the way, I have a Discord link below. You can see these are people who've joined in the last few days. That's pretty popular. We've got, it must be well over 3,500 people now. So I invite you to take a look. Link below, Discord, where you can continue conversation. We have people of all levels, all skill levels in there, all kinds of discussions, and you meet a bunch of good people as well. So it's good. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Server suggestions. It's really good. So I invite you to check that out. All right, we'll see what else we got here. Hi, George. How are ya? Sounds good. Eric. Code long and profit. Sound good. All right. Good. We can hear you. Code long and profit. Yes, for sure. Cool. Good time of the day, Steph. Well, we got this one here. We can hear me. I'm getting through the comments here. Hold on. We can hear you over here. Good. What do you think about lying in interviews? Well, I wouldn't advise it. Eventually, you might get caught. Better to be prepared in interviews. Just be prepared. Honesty is actually the better route because I have a friend of mine who just actually got a job at a FANG just recently, like maybe a month ago. And he's quite a good developer, that's for sure. Very experienced, doing some good work. And he failed half the exam, in fact. He failed half the technical. And he knew he failed. He just made stupid mistakes. But they still hired him. And he asked the people, said, why are you hiring me? He says, well, we like you. That's it. So having good interpersonal skills, being somebody that people think they can trust, goes a long way to landing jobs. Harun Ulnir. Welcome. Sound to sound. Sounds great. How do you make the jump from mid-level to senior lead dev if you have never managed anyone before? That's an interesting goal. I think you just have to become hyper helpful in your organization. Get to talk to people, know people, show people who make those decisions that you can communicate well. And you're there to do the extra. And that will probably get you that job at some point if they have openings. They have to have openings. Ruby. Have you seen Resident Evil 4 Remake? It's insane. No, I haven't seen that yet. Oh, you know what? Hold on. All the rage is ChatGPT. Can you tell us what you think of it? I just did a video stream yesterday you can watch on ChatGPT. Yeah, so I would definitely just go watch that stream and I break it down for you. In a nutshell, though, I think ChatGPT represents the first of new major AI products that you should learn to use. It's going to speed up your development and it's going to speed up your learning of development. It's no risk to your developer jobs. It's just going to shift things over. So definitely get into Chat GPT if I were you. All right, so it's time for the books of the day. So I always do my little books of the day thing. Not necessarily coding related. Links below. So one book that I kept this from my high school days. So this was made of parchment, like yellow pages or brown pages. So old, this book. Anyway, classic book. Couple of zoologists decide to study humans as they would study primates. Hence, Naked Ape, meaning no hair. Well, for most of us. Yeah, you read this book, it's going to change your perspective about humanity and your existence. Very important. I kept this book from high school, believe it or not. And that's how important this book is to me. And you can get it probably for 50 cents somewhere on Amazon. When was this written? So this is the 1970 printing. I must have, yeah. So it was written in 1969. No, 67. Anyway, highly recommend this book. It's going to transform your thinking about humanity. That's one book to get. Another book to get, one way to improve your communication skills is to learn to write well. You learn to write well. Now, I'll recommend this book for writing, a classic book on writing well, William Zinsser. I think the link is below too. Again, available on Amazon. Highly recommend it. You write well, you will learn to think better, you will learn to speak better. So on writing well. That said, give you a couple of tips. Same thing, these tips work in coding as well, by the way. So when you're writing, you write your first draft, get out the bullet points, the main points you want. And if you can't find the perfect sentence, it's okay. Just get out the main point, get from A to Z. Same thing with software. When you're writing software for the first time, you want to get your first alpha version out as quick as possible, as dirty as possible. You don't have to worry about optimizing. This is for the first version, the first iteration. Second iteration, same thing with writing. Then you go back and you start refining and simplifying, Start taking out, in terms of writing, start taking out the long-winded sentences and words. You just make sure it reads well. Same thing with coding. You want to go there, second pass, start cleaning up, start fixing things. That's when you get to it. And then the third pass is when you really refine, whether it's your code base, a chunk of code rather, or whether it's an email you're writing or something. By the third pass, you usually have a pretty good refined piece in front of you. All right, so that helps. I hope that helps. I'll go, Steph. I finished every course on your site. As my first project, I want to build an e-commerce site and CMS for it with PHP. Should I do it with plain PHP or should I learn Laravel and build it? For that level of project, I would get into Laravel. It'd be worth learning Laravel because Laravel is going to take care. It's got all kinds of things built in. That's the whole point of a framework. Just in case you don't know, PHP is one of the most popular server-side programming languages in the world today. It's still one of the most popular languages in the world today. And Laravel is a framework. And all framework is a collection of code organized in a very specific way that speeds up the process of building systems. So because of that complexity there, e-commerce, CMS, I would use Laravel. By learning Laravel, you're going to learn to become a better developer. So Laravel would be my selection there. If you're doing something much more simple, then I would just go vanilla PHP maybe. Do you enjoy content creating better than development? You know, it's kind of neck and neck. I like content creation. I've been writing code since '94 commercially, so I kind of, you know, I've done it a long time. So it's kind of cool to do other things, you know. At this point in time, I don't code much. I do code reviews when I need to. I architect. I decide what. Occasionally, I'll pop in and I'll tweak some code here and there. But I'm not an active developer because I can't run the show and write code at the same time. Not possible. If you have if I have project, how I proceed to start. If it's a visual project, I would start with the screens. Draw out the screens on paper. And then once you have the screens drawn out, if you have database stuff going on, then you design your database on the back end. then you can start doing it. Rock and sound on my boss. Yeah, good stuff. Ask ChatGPT. I was 94, and in 94 I was using this Commodore 64. Yeah. Really, in 94? Huh. Yeah, that's good. I remember that computer. Good games. YouTube Dev Talk all ChatGPT. Yeah, you should be looking at ChatGPT. That's for sure. What's playing in the intro music? Are you talking about the soft stuff or the one with the beat? If it's this stuff here, this is something I got off, I think I got it off YouTube. It's like royalty free. It's based off of, it's a copy of Miles Davis. There's a Miles Davis album called It Will Come to Me. Got a blue cover. It's called It Will Come to Me. So this guy here, whoever did this track, basically copied Miles Davis. So that's that track. But if it's this track, this is something I wrote, something I put together. Yeah, this is something I put together. So yeah, there you go. I don't know which one you were looking for. Mohammed from Lebanon, very good. There we go. Terry from New Zealand, very cool. Greetings, Steph from Sunrise, Florida. Theos. I stopped at the middle of your HTML course due to starting a second job. Oh, well, don't worry. We'll still be there when you have time. Try to get in 20 minutes every other day, But you got to pay the bills first. Hi, Steph. Any thoughts on the future of Unreal Engine-based jobs? I couldn't say. I haven't been paying attention to that. I would look into the game industry and see what the chatter is about Unreal Engine, if that's still the predominant engine or not, or if other engines are in development. I don't know. So just look into that. See what the business news is. Alabama. Hi, I'm junior first year comp science student from Florida. Very cool, man. Thanks for joining the stream. Gabriel from Mexico. Dauto from Brazil. I don't know if I said that right. Thang from Cambodia. Very cool. Ayesh from Sri Lanka. Very cool. Hi, I'm Ursian from Egypt. My girlfriend doesn't support my coding career and says I code too much. What should I do? I'll keep coding. When you start being successful, the girlfriend will start liking you a lot more. So yeah, just maybe try to find some balance with that. Maybe take her out. Try to find a little balance. It's good to balance it out. Take breaks every now and then because you don't want to burn yourself out. So it's good to take little breaks. Also gives your brain a chance to rest as well. So if you like her, give her a little bit of attention, at least. Tony from Florida. Alex from Mexico City. I am Alberto from Peru. What part of Peru, Alberto? I've been to Peru. I went to Iquitos. And then I went up to the border with Colombia to the Rio Putumayo, in the Amazon. I built a website with ChatGPT API, chat, and image gen. It looks good and works. You think I should put it on my portfolio? It will boost my resume. Well, if it looks good and it works, and you understand the code, why not? Just say that I've been optimizing my time with ChatGPT. Don't lie about it. Robin from New York. Hey, man. I'm in my second year of computer science, and I keep hearing AI will take my job before I even get. It's kind of depressing. First time here. Love your work. Nah, they don't know what they're talking about. All that the AI is going to do is just going to speed up the development process, shift what you do as a developer. Don't worry about it. Keep working towards your degree. Don't go into heavy debt, though. Don't go into heavy student loan debt. Take a job and pay it off. Start paying it off as quick as possible because that student loan debt is very, very evil. If you have debt coming. Hades from Detroit, front-end dev. Just found you off a video. You're talking about CSR, SSR. How do you make the jump from mid-level to senior lead dev? If you have never managed, you asked me that already. Topic for a new video, 10,000 reasons why Google wants Uncle Steph. That's good. That's quick. PHP, I agree, is easy and clean. Yeah, my Studioweb learning SaaS is on PHP. One of my former employees and a mentee under me, he has a company that he co-founded. He's the CTO. He wrote the core software. It's mostly PHP. It's worth 1.5 billion. So, PHP is capable. So I've learned Python, currently learning Java. I am also a statistical programming intern, mainly programming in SASVer. Would it be a smooth process to become a software engineer? Why not? But I think you might be able to just get a job, You might as well just jump in and get a job. Once you get that first job, that's the first hurdle in this game. The first hurdle in this game is to get that first job. That's why in my mentoring program, my boot camp, once people go through the fundamentals, they build a demo site, we inspect the code, we make sure everything looks cool. Then they go out and they do 2 to 3 small projects, freelance projects, a local nonprofit, a small business, a little independent coffee shop, independent garage, whatever, just to get your hands dirty. And once you can show some real skills, real work you've done, that's your ticket to get in. So, yeah, I hope that answers the question. How on earth should a new dev manage sleep, work, nourishment, folly? It's so hard to squeeze life back into my life. Yeah, you don't want to burn yourself out. I have been there. I burnt myself out. Once you get burnt out, it's much harder to recover. So what I would do is I would pace myself. Also, exercise is very important. If you can exercise, eating well is very important. Keep away from the carbs, keep away from the sugars, the sugary drinks, keep away from the breads, the pastas. You want to eat fatty meat and vegetables. Try intermittent fasting. That will help you give you energy. You're going to have to change, but try to get some balance in there because you don't want to find yourself burnt out in 6 months or a year from now or 2 years from now. Because to recover from burnout is difficult. It's difficult. How to sleep without carbs. All right, so most of us, because of the modern diet, are very carb-oriented in terms of how we eat, right? We eat carbs. Everything is carbs. The breads, the pastas, the sugar, it's all carbs. Very bad for you. Metabolic illness is the leading cause of sickness and death in the West, and probably spreading around the world. So that means heart disease, diabetes, cancers, arthritis. This is all caused by what you eat. And what you eat is bad food, which is the carbs. So if you can remove the carbs out of your body gradually, just wean yourself off of it. So I'll tell you, I'm 6'2", and I'm 189 pounds, 187 pounds, and I still want to go down another 5-6 pounds. So I'm 6'2", and I used to weigh 246 pounds, 47 pounds. That was my height. And I got there because I took a bunch of steroids for an illness and I ate like a pig. But once you get big, it's hard to get it off. So, a rule of thumb, when it comes to weight, I would don't let yourself weigh yourself often. So don't let yourself get 20, 40, 50 pounds overweight. Better to stop it at 10 pounds overweight or 5 pounds overweight. And same thing with debt. Don't let debt run out of control. I'll get to the super chat once I finish with this. So you want to cut the carbs out gradually. So what I did when I was heavy, I used to eat a whole medium pizza and fries and a Coke on my own. So I said, okay, this is no good. So I started cutting down. So I said I would order a medium pizza, 8 slices, and I would eat 7 slices and put the other one in the fridge and eat it the next day. Then I cut it down to 6 slices, and then 5 and 4 and 3. And you get the idea. Same thing with the Coke. I would drink half the can of Coke, get my fix, pour the rest down the sink. Because you now are, if you're on carbs, you are now physiologically and addicted to the carbs. So you're going to have, so when you wean yourself off of it slowly. And you can go watch videos about the carnivore guys and the keto guys. They'll give you the guide to that. You got to get off the carbs. Not good. Not good. You may be young watching this, but as you get older, eating crappy food starts to have very bad effects on you over time. Not good. So if you want a lot of energy, clarity of thought as a developer, get rid of carbs. Start eating natural, unprocessed foods, you know? Give me a thumbs. Tell me if you, in the comments, I can go on about this, but I won't because this is a tech channel. But if you guys want me to talk, there's a little bit more I could talk about this in terms of nutrition, how it can affect your mental and cognitive capacities and your overall health. I can get into some stuff without going into too much painful detail. Let me know if you want me to discuss it in this live stream by putting it in the chats. Otherwise, I'll stop here for now. Where's my super chat? Here it is. All right. Thanks for the super chat. From Random Coding Channel. Stefan, what is better to become web dev or iOS dev? I would say they're both good, and you can pivot from one or the other if you change your mind at a future point. But I would say web dev because there's just more flexibility. So many jobs in small business are web and not so much iOS. But they're both, hold on. There we go. They're both good. So choose whatever you like. But start looking around at jobs, start snooping around there, you know? Good question. Hold on. I'm going up. I'm getting so many questions. I don't think I'll be able to get to everybody. What's in the mug? Unfortunately, just tea. Just tea. I'm kind of trying to detox my body. So I stopped drinking coffee about 2-3 weeks ago. I stopped drinking any alcohol, 6 months ago. Not that I was a big drinker to begin with, but nonetheless. And I'm trying to cut down carbs. Today was a cheat day for carbs. I had a little bit of pad thai, and I had some Portuguese chicken with about this much fries on the side. But tomorrow, no carbs. Next few days, no carbs. You got to, so that's tea. Is it convenient learning Java and JavaScript at the same time? If you have the time, they're very similar languages. I would learn JavaScript first, just run through it. Like, I have a JavaScript course. You can get through it in, a week, 2 weeks, depending. And then, maybe 3 weeks. But then once you learn JavaScript, which is easier to learn than Java, then jumping over to Java will be pretty easy. So I would do that if I were you. Have you seen a new study on the unrestricted GPT-4 from Microsoft solved Amazon interview question with about twice the accuracy as humans on hard questions? Should this be worrying students? No, it should not, because it should be worrying companies who filter students with these silly questions that they give people in terms of interviews. When I interview people, when I hire people, when I interview people for coding jobs, I never gave them silly tests. I would ask them questions, and I would have them. I would say, "Show me some of your previous work," and I would look at their code base, and I would look at their code skills. I'd pay attention how well they communicate. I would see what kind of questions they ask me. The problem with that interview process requires that you know what you're doing as a interviewer. You have to know code. So no, it's just going to, again, let me say it again. I don't believe that GPT-4 is a threat to developer jobs. And anybody who tells you it is a threat, they do not have any work experience. That's clear to me. Why? Because when you get into development, you see that coding is a small part of the process of development. It's an important process, but it's a small part of the process. All these other things are involved: the configuration, the planning, the technology selections, debugging. A lot of times you find bugs that have nothing to do with the code or has something to do with configuration issues, So yeah, it's just going to speed up the process. It is not a threat. I have 7 years experience, good university, etc. It feels like all that time is wasted since I cannot live up to my potential. Well, I think you're a candidate who has to take my Lizard Wizard course. That's going to teach you about your operating systems of your brain. And once you understand the operating systems of your brain, it's going to transform your perception of reality. You'd be like Thanos. And so it's very powerful. So link below, it's very inexpensive. Lizard Wizard is what you need. It's going to solve your problems. Well, it's going to help solve your problems anyway. Hey, Stefan, cheers from Argentina. Hey, man. Cheers. I will know if you recommend learning MySQL for full stack or back-end job or learning SQL no matter the system to be used. Thank you for your response. Once you learn any relational database, in other words, any SQL-based database, they're all very similar. Of course, you go to Oracle, they're going to have lots of complexity there. And in addition to the base, but yeah, just learn it with MySQL, very popular. And, for you to learn another database afterwards, and their variant of SQL won't be a big deal. But MySQL is cool, man. What we got here? I appreciate it. Oh, thanks for the tea. Yeah. I hope you find this stuff useful. It's I enjoy passing on the knowledge. I come from a family of teachers, if you don't know. Here we go. What do you think about Elixir and Phoenix Live View? I've never used them, man. Oh, hey Google, cancel. No. It's Siri. Siri doesn't know when to shut up. Let me look at that for you. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm coming back here. All right. So what he asked about? He asked about, what do you think about Elixir and Phoenix Live View? You know what? I will take an attempt here to see what it's about. And I'll see if I can give you an answer. What are we looking at? Yeah, Phoenix Live View. All right, hold on a second. You know what I'm going to ask? You know what I'm going to ask, right? Yeah, let's go. Come on. See what ChatGPT says. See if we can get in. All right, we can get in. So we're going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to see what this guy says. What is Phoenix Live View? Hold on. Okay, Phoenix Live View is a real-time server-side rendering library for the Phoenix web framework built with Elixir programming language. Okay, I've never used Elixir. It allows developers to create interactive web applications without the need for writing client-side JavaScript. I guess it compiles down, right? Live View uses WebSockets to establish persistent connection. Hold on. Let's ask it. Show me an example of Elixir. All right. I want to see that code. I've never seen Elixir code, so I'm just curious. Let's take a look. Def, Fibonacci, do def. Okay, so you're creating a module. Single function, fib. All right. So I don't know. I don't have, when you look at any language and any technology, you have to look at two things. This is my advice to you. You look at how competent the language and the tool set around the language is. So in this case, Elixir and the Phoenix Live View. Live View is always cool. And B, you have to look at the business use case, meaning, is there a lot of demand for this? Don't be learning something just because you think it's cool, which means you'll get a job. If you want to learn something because you think it's cool, because you just want to learn for fun, and you just want to explore it, that's cool. That's cool. But always consider the broader market implications when you're looking at any technology. I have made that mistake where I've adopted some technology which I thought was amazing. And then I developed stuff in it, and then it just faded from existence because the market didn't care about it. So then I had this orphaned code base based on a technology that nobody used. Now, I'm not saying that's the case with Elixir. I've heard of it. I just never used it. I appreciate the super chat. I hope that was helpful. So yeah, there's... Oh, damn. Siri's going crazy. Siri is the worst. It's the worst of the assistants there. Okay, hold on. Did a coding boot camp in 2021 and came out with a certificate and a bill. 2 years have passed. I'm now 21 and want to land a web dev job. I'm rusty. Should I go to college or restart, or what should I do? What you should do now is you should build a website. I don't know. Well, I'm assuming what kind of web dev you did. I'm assuming you learned web dev. So what you should do is build a website, a portfolio website for yourself. Number one. Number two, once that portfolio website is built, you should go out and speak to some local nonprofits, small business, and offer to help build something simple for them for free. You got to start getting into your hands coding. Ooh, let me try that again. You have to get your hands into coding. You have to start building things. Now, if you go to college, it's going to be another few years, right? So you're 21, you're still young though, so you got time. But before going to college, and if you do go to college, better be free or very cheap. Number two, you should still do what I said, because the key to becoming a successful developer is building real stuff. Okay, hope that helps. Front end still rules and static sites, HTML, CSS. Big likes for the streams. I appreciate it. Let me know if you do like this type of stream where I combine talking tech and jobs and business and whatnot. Please give me a thumb so that the Google algorithms know what's going on. Hey, Anissa, how are you? Miss you and all your great knowledge. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for joining the stream. I'm getting better now. I had this long, persistent illness, we'll call it. If you want to learn about it, you can check out my other channel where I talk about those type of things. Hello, Emmanuel. Richard, how are you? Cheers, everybody. Question, tips for getting a job. Question 2, can I have a job, please? Well, I told you the tips. I told you what you have to do, Freddie. Make sure you got good speaking skills, writing skills. Make sure you got a portfolio. Go out there, do some free jobs. Yeah, there you go. Good night, Steph. I'm learning the basics of coding using Scratch. That's cool. How good is this in your opinion? It's very basic. I would consider jumping into, I would do the web. I think the web is the best one to go because it shows you all kinds of different types of programming in the web stack, and there's real jobs. There's no jobs in Scratch, but it's good for basic concepts. But I would be a week or two max on Scratch, and I would pivot to web tech. Start with HTML. It'll teach you about code structure and that kind of stuff. You got to write code. And so I have code courses if you want to check them out. I also have a boot camp as well. So, but don't spend too much time on Scratch because you have to actually get your hands dirty writing the actual code out. Steph, I'm learning basic Laravel. I work at an agency coding emails. Do you know any individuals who learned PHP Laravel and landed a job? No, yeah, many. I know an individual who learned PHP Laravel and landed a $1.5 billion business for himself. So yeah, it's very doable. It's very good to learn Laravel. Hey, Uncle Steph, do you have the option of choosing Java, JavaScript in your course? I teach JavaScript. I teach Python. I teach PHP. I debated teaching Java because I did a lot of Java work in my day. I've written more lines of Java code than any other language by a long shot. And I've written commercial software in like 9 languages over the years. Once you've done my course curriculum, Java will be pretty easy for you. Yeah, because all these languages are very similar, especially Java and JavaScript. You know, it's not a coincidence that they have a similar name. They came out the same time, and they're both C-based. They're in that C family of languages, include C, C++, Java, JavaScript, C#, and there are others. Uncle, what's your tech stack? Let's say I told you today to build a web app. What would you use? Well, it depends on the specifics of the project. I would look at the specific of the project, specifics of the needs. So if it's like, if there's a lot of concurrency, maybe I lean towards Node. My default, I have to say, is PHP with Laravel because I find them to be solid and easy to work with. But Depends on the project. If I was building something where I had to interface with some Microsoft-backed systems, then I would definitely go C#.net. Depends on what's going on. So you can't really go wrong with any stack except for Ruby. That's the one you got to avoid at all cost. You call it Ruby, I'm just joking about Ruby. Ruby's fine. Even Ruby. Thanks so much. I appreciate your experience and advice. And no problem. Thanks for joining the stream. How are we doing for time? Okay, we're going to be wrapping up soon. What do you think about the job market for a senior developer? Lots of opportunity. Yes, this is a smelly book. I have other books. Oh, geez, more stuff. Little break. So if you're a total beginner and you like books, you can find my book on Amazon. Web Design Start Here. I wrote that years ago, but it's still good. I wrote this book wanting it to be evergreen, and it is evergreen. Everything I teach in here is 100% usable today, even though I wrote this in like 2016, 2015, believe it or not. It's got lots of pretty pictures, and because you can get it secondhand in a lot of places for cheap, so you may want to get that if you like books, or you can take my courses. My courses are far more comprehensive, but the book's great. Now, if you are a beginner and you want to up your, not a beginner, beginner intermediate, and you want to up your game as a developer, you want to learn how to refactor. So there's 2 books on refactoring, links below this video. One is on, this is the Java version by Martin Fowler. This is one of the few books I kept from the late 90s, early 2000s. And there's also a JavaScript version as well, but it's universal. The principles in here and the techniques in here that you're taught are universal across all the modern programming languages, but they have a Java and a JavaScript version. So I highly recommend this if you want to level up your game as a coder. And finally, album of the day. So since this is a nerd podcast, I'm introducing you today to nerd music. So this is Genesis. This is our live album. It's called Seconds Out. If you don't know Genesis, Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, this is their stuff from the 70s. They have a lot of great tunes, by the way. You can get this on YouTube or Spotify, whatever. I have the Japanese vinyl. You see the Japanese obi here? Why Japanese vinyl? Because these are highly sought after by audiophile nerds, which I am. And this sounds better. But anyway, this is actually a well-recorded live concert. If you like concerts and you like nerd prog rock music, this is what you want to get. This is a great album. Highly recommend it. It's kind of prog rock is progressive rock. It's kind of like psychedelic music, but nerd style. That's what that is. All right. Thanks for a book recommendation. No problem. I do have another question. Is it possible to make my own game and get into game development by myself? Or do we have to work as a team for each things in a game? Depends on the game company. It depends on your portfolio. It's all about experience, right? But your instinct is right. You have to be able to demonstrate that you're easy to get along with. You can communicate well. But first step, learn Python or C# and build a simple game. Start building games. That's the first step. Then you can think about other things later on. Do you see providing back-end support for website back-end support like hosting platforms, VPS? Do you see providing? Well, if you're working for small clients, they're going to want to a lot of times they're going to want to know about how to get the site online. So you have to learn about that. That's why I teach that in my HTML course, right? You have to learn about hosting and hosting options, when to go to VPS, when to go to shared hosting, that kind of stuff. So you should be able to provide those services. But here's a tip, though. If you are freelancing, never take the responsibility of hosting under your own wing, because you're going to start getting all kinds of calls you don't want. But you can make a deal with a hosting company. So if you bring them a client, they give you a kickback, whatever, $50, $100, depending. And so hand that off to the client. But yeah, you probably might have to support them. I talk all about that in my freelance training. You know what I'm going to say? Links below. Steph, I signed up for the paid version of ChatGPT. I'm going to do that soon, I think. It has helped me learn 10 times faster. Fantastic. Good stuff. I'm flying through many assignments and grasping the concepts. They are actually sticking. Very cool. Yeah, ChatGPT gives you good explanations, as we saw here. So I asked it to give me an example. It gave me an example of the code, and then it proceeded to explain the code, which is very cool. And this is the free version. I'm going to get the paid version as well for some of my own work as well. Not so much for the coding, but from other stuff. Also just to explore ChatGPT. In fact, for my coding curriculum, for the mentoring program, I'm going to add some modules, I believe, some lessons on how to use ChatGPT effectively to learn code, provide some assistance and examples. So yeah, that's a good idea, man. Good stuff, Bruce. No problem. How do you keep your health good when you are coding so much? Sitting in a chair and looking at a screen all day makes me feel like a greasy blob. Drink water on a regular basis. Check your body weight and height and see how much water you should drink. Most people don't drink enough water, including me. That's why I drink teas a lot all the time. So drink constantly, be drinking. Do micro exercises. I talk about that. Maybe once every hour, get up, stretch your legs, drop down, do 10 push-ups, get the blood flowing, go take a break, walk around. I try to walk 8,000 or so steps a day. So I walk around, and then when the weather is nice, I'm biking all the time. Your health is more important than anything else, so you have to incorporate healthy habits in your life, and the sooner you do it, the better off you'll be. Highly recommend. Good question, though. Good question. You don't want to feel like a greasy blob. Also, eat better foods, natural foods, unprocessed foods, no breads, no sugars. That will help reduce your greasy blob feelings by quite a bit. My first job as a Rails developer, I decided to go for a Rails path because it seems there's a lot of demand in that. At least on LinkedIn, they hired me with no experience, just an interview. See, that's a good point. That's a good point, Gabriel. Now, it's not always wise to go for what's hot in the job market. So, for example, Rails is no longer hot, although there's a lot of legacy Rails out there and a lot of places. And so since new developers not interested in learning Ruby and Rails, I know people are going to faint when I say this. It could be very lucrative for you to learn Ruby and Rails, like he just said, because there's a lot of jobs, but a lot of people don't want to learn Ruby. So supply and demand, not so many developers. They're going to take juniors. So that might be a way. That's a good thing. Thanks for bringing that up, Gabriel. That's a great strategy, right? You learn Ruby, and you get one of those Ruby jobs, which you're going to be paid well, and that's a way to get your experience. And then if Ruby ever dies out for you, you don't like it, you just pivot to something else very quickly. It brings up another myth. A lot of people, they're worried about which language I should learn. It's really not that relevant because once you learn how to program, you learn how to program, All right, guys, I'm going to be wrapping it up. And sorry I didn't get to all your questions. There's too many questions. So, okay, I got you guys. I think I got all the super chats. I want to make sure I got my super chats going here. Yep, I agree. Okay, thanks, Egg. Okay, I got those. Okay, I got the super chats, I believe. Sorry I can't answer all your questions, but I've already been on an hour. If I stay on much longer, I'm going to lose my voice. So let's see if I got everything. Okay. No. All right. IoT is highly niche. So, again, you can just pivot out. All right, guys. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. If you have, I would invite you again to join my Discord. You can continue the conversation there. See if anybody joined tonight. So we've had a few people join here. A couple people. More than a couple. So join the Discord, continue conversation there, and I will try, as long as I'm feeling okay, I'm going to start streaming more often. Leave comments below this video if you have any questions or have any suggestions. And I might start doing some Instagram lives as well. I used to do those on a daily basis. But on the move. All right. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining.